Alright, so this right hand side is in. I'll be absolutely honest with you, it's a total pain in the ass. I've got one long piece missing from there to there at the moment. I did it in a rush, which I cannot recommend, and I put this in. I put that, the other sub-assembly in here, this one, the wedge shape in first, and then decided to hang this, the right rear tail light holder and rear bumper section hanging in midair without putting that it was a mess. This was dropped down by about 4 centimeters before I put this in, which then put pressure on here, pulled that. Once I'd finally put enough glue on, hot glue at this end, and there's a massive amounts, you can see quite how much there is on there, similar amount on there, so that it wasn't going to rip apart. It then started, when I pushed that corner up, it torqued the entire of this sideways. No thing. Now, what's really fascinating is exactly, and I'm kind of anticipating, but kind of also hoping that it was the case, but this is the identical amount free and clear from here as it is on that one. So that's a really good sign that there's just some symmetry involved in whatever's going on in the tensioning and things, and the I honestly don't know what's exactly going on, but it's a good sign that those two are the same length. So what I'll do is just not worry about it. I'll either put in some small spaces underneath here and bridge to across down there. I'm not going to force that. Just leave it as it is. That's perfectly fine. And by the time we get the cloth and resin on, it's really not going to matter. I may end up regretting that decision when it comes to actually joining the base on, on the roof, the middle section and the roof on, bolting those on. But be honest, we can just cross that bridge when we come to it and adjust accordingly. But the main thing I wanted to point out is, for goodness sake, identify those tetrahedron as best you can, and assemble things. But when you do have to put things in that are not going well, do make sure to identify the ones that are pushing. Put the shorter ones in first so that the longer ones can push things apart. For example, this one, actually, I needed down here to cut out there's an indentation. I need to cut out the side here in order to slide the bamboo in sideways, rather than having to prise everything apart by another 1.5 millimeters, or bend this rod significantly, by like a 5-degree angle, in order to get the reduced length on that. I just cut that, and I think, and there were a couple of other points where I did this as well. Yes, you can see I've shredded that plastic there on the side so that this rod will just slide in. I think that was particularly tricky. You really can't bend this enough to get a reduction on the length. Like that. Yeah, it's not going to happen there to snap the bamboo. So and on that, really watch out for these. You cannot bend these. So you do have to prise things apart, which gets very, very tricky, which is why in the notes I say start from one end or start from the middle and work outwards. Do not attempt to attach assemblies that you then are forced to place a pipe in between and start prizing apart two pieces in the middle of the thing. That's really not going to work. So yeah, this is now basically complete. There's one more node to go on here and over there, and that's the back bumper complete. Right wheel arch is here, swing arm there, left wheel arch is there, because that part, the extension out to the node comes here where my finger is pointing, actually approximately where the light switch is, forms the back of that wheel arch, and the swing arms sit inside there and there. By the way, on these, there's a reason why they're not 21.5. It's because they're not actually going to be structural parts. If I was doing the double wishbone suspension, which I may do in the future, the double wishbone suspension will be hanging off of here, and these would definitely be 21.5mm, and there will be at least another couple of nodes, probably about in here, joining up a lot more pipes on 24.5mm to give support to that, so that the wishbone suspension was going bounce up and down, and not breaking anything. We'll look at that in another revision of this one. Cool. All right. So, yeah, welcome. That's really awesome. Oh, by the way, that's the nice shape thing in the back. So you've got the right tail light, left tail light, and then this slope going up and then curving back up again, and airflow going. Yeah, holding the thing sideways, airflow going down and up to give some lift off the back here. Cool. Thank you very much.